who is very much good in Indian literature or who is very much good in critical theories, there are many fields in English literature which you can pursue. So let me just let me know that what are the things that you are interested in. Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. I think I'm interested in Indian literature, and when we talk about Indian literature, I will want to work on some novels of Anita Desai for that matter. I can also take Srilal
So
Shukla's
you are very interested in novels.
novels. Yes.
You?
So I think I'm also interested in novels.
Novels.
Yeah.
You?
Actually, I'm still in novel.
I'm interested in doing comparative literature, but I'm still searching in
African literature.
comparative literature.
Very interesting, very interesting. Yes,
But I'm still thinking
very good. Sit down. Yes. So your genre is not decided. It is something.
it is from
It may be poem, it may be drama, it may be novel, it may be critical theory also. Because comparison critical theories can also be done.
Yes.
Yes, Veda?
Novel, mostly fictional.
Mostly
Fiction.
fiction is everything. Let me tell you. Fiction is drama, fiction is poem, fiction is what in fiction?
Novel.
Because when you say fiction, it doesn't mean novel. That's a very wrong concept. मैं देखती हूँ सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज में fiction के अंदर क्या है novel. It is not so. Fiction is everything. Fiction is imagination. The word fiction means imagination. It is poetry. It is drama. It is critical. Everything is fiction. So when you are saying fiction, that means you are novel. Yes, better.
Novel related to Aboriginal literature.
Novel in English literature, in American, in African,
Australian.
Australian. Very good. Yes.
Ma'am.
Novels. All novels. No poem. No drama. Drama. Yes, you know.
Poetry.
Poetry. Very good. Yes.
Ma'am, something literature related to feminism. Like it should be either of American and African, mainly African, Afro-American.
Good. Good. Yes.
Post-colonial literature. Post-colonial literature.
Post-colonial literature is very vast.
Yes, but might have some novels and some
Novels. All novels. All
and some
novels. Yes.
poetry and critical essays also.
Good. Yes.
British literature and 19th
British literature. Very good. Very good idea. Now, sit down. So, all of you are interested in novels and novelists. But the thing is that somewhere in which you are going on novels, one thing you are neglecting, the most ancient form of literature is what?
Poetry.
Drama.
Drama.
It is a drama, which is the more, because poetry is a part of drama. The dialogue flow that is done in poetry, in drama, is through poem, through rhyme, which is rhythmical and rhyming pattern. Yes. So it is a drama. And drama is actually, my field is not drama. If I am speaking of drama, don't think that my field is drama. Teaching for 25 years, I found that students don't go for drama study. That's why I am encouraging you to go for drama studies. Because drama has so validity. It talks, it is living. When you are reading a novel, it is not living, it is a narration. Drama is not a narration. There is action in drama. People are acting, people are doing something. And drama is something which talks about life itself. But so it is your choice. I don't want to go and dictate you at this point because you all are so learned people. I consider PhD scholars as very, very learned because you have gone through so many examinations, you have gone through so many things. Now, the first thing is that you have to identify the area of research. Identifying the area of research is something like this. This is the emoji I have made for identifying the area of research. You think and think and think. And at present the situation is this. You are thinking, what should I take? क्या लेना चाहिए चाहिए novel मेरा है तो what type of novel? There are Anish Tripathi also there. We have Vikram Seth. We have I don't know heard of Aarti Devakaruni, Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni. We have Aarti Mukherjee. We have so many people in Indian literature, and we have so many people in English literature. We have so many novelists in American literature. So novel is the first. Now novel has taken the position of epic. The epic had a very dominating position in ancient time. Novel is ruling the literature at present. So that is why your interest in novel is quite natural, and you should be interested in this. Now, because you have to think, and after thinking, it must first strike what appeals you. What appeals you? Feminism, as she said. Feminism appeals you. But let me tell you, this is your first impression. This is your hypothesis. From hypothesis, when you emerge into your age, your methodology, there can be a drastic change. You can change from feminism to something psychoanalysis, to something other thing, to something other theories. So, first thing is, whatever it strikes in your mind, the first and the foremost thing is that you have to specify. You have to say and negate to many things. No. And how can you say no? You have to read. Read everything on feminism. Like you have a gynocriticism in feminism field. Ellen Showalter, read her. Read Ellen Showalter. Read Gayatri Spivak. So, the subaltern class, because feminism is a part of subalternism also. Okay? When we come to drama, which I started, you read the types of drama that is going on in India and abroad, in Australia. There's Australian literature, one of Australian literature. And when you talk about feminism, there is black feministic literature, huge, even in Australia, literature that talks of post-colonial literature. And in post-colonial literature, one of the most important literature that we are concerned about, the feeling of coloniality. English, the language English, is politically dominating the entire world. That is a different phase. That is a language politics that we are going through at present. That is something you can also work on that. That is another field, language politics, that is dominating the society. You can work on it. Another most important thing that we are working on it. I have talked of just now of Gayatri Spivak. Chitra Devakaruni. Chitra Devakaruni is novel. A Palace of Illusions. Forest of Enchantment. These novels, she has talked of Ramayana, she has talked of these novels you should read, I think, as a feminine, even as a male, because she has talked about Sita, she has talked about Draupadi, with the perspective of Draupadi, with the perspective of Sita. If Sita would have been the protagonist of Ramayana, what would have been the Ramayana look like, or sound like, or read like? If Draupadi would have been the protagonist of Mahabharata, what would have been the perspective of Ramayana? So, a different outlook of mythology. So, this can also be your research project. And in that research project, you can, then you have to just negate some things. No, not this. Suppose I take a novel. One of you can name any novel that all of you have read, because most of you are interested in novel. Name anything that you have read.
Test of the Gabriels. Test of the Gabriels.
Test of the Overbible. Okay, Test of the Overbible. All of you have read it. All of you know about it. Now, Thomas Hardy is a writer who has been explored, I think, more than enough. So to work on Thomas Hardy is a very tough thing. One of the toughest things in the world, I think, to work on Thomas Hardy. What you have to do is that, the first thing is that if you are working on Thomas Hardy, you have to go through the literature that is available on Thomas Hardy. You have to explore the literatures available on Thomas Hardy. First thing, tick, 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 decide. And suppose, after reading, you find that the perspective of test or as a gynecologist has not been dealt yet, has not been explored the way, because after all, thesis means researching the already searched thing and then coming out with your own conclusion. See, literature is a subject where you find many theses which talks of so many things repeatedly. So many things repeatedly. So you have to not, you are not supposed to repeat things. Like thesis, what happens in Indian university is that we recompile the things that is available and we make a thesis. But that is not the correct way of recompiling. Is not your work. Your work is first recompiling and then coming to a conclusion. So how can you come to a conclusion? That is more important. So if you are not happy with your learning, with the subject that you have chosen, there comes difficulty. That my supervisor has suggested that this is becoming boring for me. So don't do it with yourself. First you go to your supervisor. First you select your supervisor. The first step is that you should feel comfortable with your supervisor. She might be comfortable with me, she might not be. He might be comfortable with me, she might not be. So, personality. I can tell you, first impression is the last impression. The teacher comes, and it happens with me usually, that when I see somebody, एक हिंदी में कहावत है, पहले दर्शनधारी फिर गुरु विचार. पहले आप दर्शन में अगर किसी को इम्प्रेस कर सकते हैं, फर्स्ट impression is always the last impression. So the thing is that if you are impressed with your supervisor, then only you can work with him or her. If you are not impressed, work is not possible, and work like thesis is not possible. The first step in selection of topic is selection of supervisor according to whom you are selecting. That is very important. And then there is another new form, film adaptations. Film adaptations that can be done by you, and it is very, very interesting. Let me tell you. You see a film, you read like Devdas. It has been explored so many times, and I myself have written on film adaptations of Devdas. My paper is from Devdas to Devdi. There's a film called Devdi. So you will see that the character of Devdas has come to a reality. Sharat Devdas is such an explored person. He is a drunkard, he is a lunatic, he is, after all, he is a lover. He is unsuccessful. On the other hand, if you see Parvati, Paru, she is so confident. Chandramukhi, she is so confident. I have actually worked on the character not of Devdas, I have worked on the character of Parvati and of Chandramukhi. Because Sarat Chandra Bose's, Sarat Chattopadhyay's, all the women characters are not of 19th century character, they are all 20th century and 21st century character. Let me tell you. I will like if you read his novels in Hindi or in English. You have such revolutionary women characters in it. Can you think that Paro going to, even now we cannot think at the night, to another man's room and proposing him that I want to marry you. Come on. Leave this rubbish, I want to marry you, and whether you are ready to marry me or not. Such boldness. Even I think you all cannot be so bold going to a man. There will be ego. See, the love can conquer ego. This is about love. love for Devdas was so strong that she could forget everything and just go and propose her lover that yes, if you are ready, I am ready to marry you. So this type of character you have and this type of film adaptations have been made, you can work on. Then you can also work on cinematography. That is very interesting. How things have been shown through camera. Because cinema is what camera is showing you. So you can work on the cinematography also. These are the new fields that people are exploring in JNU, in DU, in Jadavpur University, or in out of India. These are the things that you can work on, cinematography. And then of course painting. You can work on, when compare the literary novels, literary dramas with the painting that has been shown. Some of the dramas have been painted, some of the novels have been painted. So you can compare and you can do. These are the topics that you can explore, that you can talk about. And of course comparative study, as she has said. Comparative study and then translation work. It is a very, very modern thing that people of regional language, the writers of regional language are being translated by Indian English writers. And we have a paper now in Kanpur University, I don't know what other universities. I think in BHU there is a paper, in Jadavpur University also, in JNU also. In this university I know because I am a student of BHU, so I know about BHU, I am in contact with some of the students of JNU. I know in these universities you have some paper, a paper devoted to translation.
Yeah, we have.
There you are from which university?
I'm Delhi University.
Delhi University. Yeah, Delhi University has a paper. I know
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
So you can work on translations. On translations, like from Bengali, take a Bengali novel and compare it with another English novel. You can, or you can just the translation of that same Bengali novel. What is the difference between the translation and the original work? That can also be done. These are the things that are marginalizing your. I am suggesting you marginalize your topic, because if you don't marginalize your topic, you will not be successful. It cannot be very, very huge, because you have to summarize everything in 250 to 300 pages. And if within 250 to 300 pages, you cannot write on more than 4 or 5 novels, more than 4 or 5 dramas, more than take one work of one author, 2, 3 authors, one work of each, and can also be done. These type of things can be done by you. But if you take more author, then more study. If you take a single author and a single author with 2, 3 works, not more than 2, 3 works. Okay, that can be done. Now, what you have to do for your background study is this. See this person with books and books and books. You have to load yourself with books. You have to consult libraries. What we used to do in our time, because I have done it in 2003, 2004, I have submitted it. I visited British Council, I visited National Library, Calcutta, a huge library, but you have InfluentNet with you. You have InfluentNet with you. Visit InfluentNet site. Huge amount of books. I am a member of InfluentNet. You will just not imagine the amount of book you will find in InfluentNet. INFLIENT. So do consult InfluentNet. Be a member of InfluentNet, and you will get a huge amount. You are not supposed to go here and there like us. We used to go from Delhi to Calcutta. From Varanasi, I am a student of BHU, so as I told you, I used to go to every month to Calcutta, and that because I have been a member of National Library Calcutta, so I had to go and return back books and take some books, and I used to sit there for 8 and 10 hours. It was so hectic. But now technology has done such a good work for you at home. You will be served with everything, all the palettes you want to read, you want to nurture, you want to study. And that's why review of literature is very much important. And the most important thing that I want you to do, find the existing gap. The studies that had not been made. And this gap, you have to fill in this gap. You have to fill in this gap. work of a research scholar or a researcher is to fill in the gaps of in the knowledge, in the field of knowledge. So that is what you have to do for yourself and for it will be a contribution to the knowledge, the ocean of knowledge, a drop from you. Okay? Now, you have to be very, very specific in your reading. Now, खाली बोल देना मैं बोल देना, you have to be very, very specific. How you can be specific? That is very important. Suppose you are want to do on Australian literature, as he is saying. You have to identify the writer first. After identifying the writer, now for that you have to go through Australian literature. Writers of Australian literature. And then you have to read their biography, you have to read their contribution. Then, after reading the biography, the most you are impressed with, you will take on that. After taking on that interesting person, you have to go through all the works that he or she has. Please, please.
एक्चुअली थोड़ा अर्जेंट है, मैं
हाँ,
आपको डिस्टर्ब करूँगी।
No
आइए
problem,
प्लीज।
हाँ।
एक्चुअली बंगले से आए हैं ये, और ये थोड़ा सा यहाँ प्रॉब्लम जो सीलन के उसको देखते हैं।
अच्छा, no problem. No problem. So, you have to then pin out from the works, you have to pin out you are the researcher. So, a huge amount of reading that I've already told you, I've shown the emoji. You have to read. You have to read. Without reading, nothing is done. Research, you are searching something. You are searching in a dark world, a light of knowledge. That is your search. That is a dark world. This is a dark world which you are exploring, and you have to lit a light. That is the work of a researcher. Okay. So then you will be reading the works. After reading his works, it is not possible to write a research on all the works of the writer. You have to again summarize. You have to again specify that these are the works that I want to read. Suppose I have done my MPhil in Vikram Singh in 1993. The year Suitable Boy was published. I was so impressed with Suitable Boy, being a young girl and in love with my husband at that time. So I was very much impressed with Suitable Boy. I told my brother, no, kuch bhi ho, I will do my work on Suitable Boy, nothing. Then he said, are you Suitable Boy? I said, no, I have read another novel of Vikram Singh and a very good novel. It's written in poem, that is Golden Gate. So I did my dissertation on Golden Gate and but at that time Vikram Singh had written Travelogue. Vikram Singh had written some critical works also. I didn't concentrate on that. I concentrated only on novels. That is specifying the field. Now when I came to my PhD, which I started quite late in 1998 after my daughter was born, I was interested in the post-colonial study, the colonial study, Indian literature. So myself suggested you can go into political novels, the effect of Gandhi and the effect of Nehru. I specified what is the effect of Gandhi and Nehru on the novelist. See, I'm giving my own example, personal example, how I did the work. Then again he told me that you read all the novels that talks of Gandhi. That when I read R.K. Narayan, I read Raja Rao, I read Guru Raj Anand, I read Venkata Ramani, I read whatnot. It took 2 years in just reading procedure. This will take time. This will take time. Writing will not take time. If you are well versed, when you are well versed and when you have specified your field, writing will not. Then I specified, okay, I will deal with 6 novelists. I started with, further I specified. I started with Raja Rao Kantapura, then Guru Raj Anand, then I came with the partition, Jamana Azadari, then I came with Midnight's Children, Shivani Bhattacharya's Shadow from Lada and Which Light Us by Mahendra Sandhu. Have you heard of these plays?
Yes.
But then again I specified. I left Midnight Children because it is in itself a thesis. A person can write in Midnight Children a single thesis. Such a pop novel. I am planning to write because 40 years, 48 years of Midnight Children.
Yes.
So I am planning to write it's an epoch novel. I think you should read, everybody should read. Salman Rushdie has taught the Indians how to write in Indian literature. Everyone must read Midnight Children by Salman Rushdie. That changed the trend of Indian writing in English, 1981. That is an epoch year which changed the trend. So, then I then specified, I only dealt with Kantapura, Rajaram, then trilogy, that is by M.R. and Mulpala Ahmed. Trilogy means there are 3 novels, Village, Across the Black Waters, and so these things, yes, this is the trilogy. And then I concentrated in Bhavani Bhattacharya because China War is very important. And then I ended with China War. I also ended with Azadi, Jamuna, because partition and China War. I ended with China War in my study. So you have to be very specific. You cannot just go on and on and on with writing. You can go on and on with reading. But when it comes to drafting, when it comes to, and let me tell you, I have drafted my thesis 5 times. And all written handwritten. At that time, in 2001 and 2, we had no facility of laptop and all that at our houses. So I had to write, and I've written 5 drafts of thesis. So yes, 5 drafts, because our thesis.
Ma'am, how many years did it take you to complete your PhD?
5 years. 5 years. I worked a lot. Everybody works a lot.
But that's too less. That's too less.
We had to work because mine is a central university and my thesis went to for checking to Texas University.
Okay.
So you cannot just joke with me like that. You cannot be a joke. Because and you know when the report of my thesis came from Texas University, it's in the form of a booklet. The professor has underlined each and everything, whatever I have written. My supervisor showed me that see the type of work they do out of India. So it's a real experience to work in a central university, to do PhD in a central university, to study in a central university. It's a real enjoyment if you want to study good. So now, when so this is what specifying your subject. Okay, बेटा आपको समझ में आ रहा है ना? Problem तो नहीं हो रही? If अगर problem हो रही है, then carry on with Hindi also. अगर मेरी इंग्लिश बहुत जल्दी बोल रहे हैं और आपको problem हो रहा है, it is okay? Okay. Now, and what is your research work ultimately? It is a summary of the theories, the summary of the study that you want to read. Mind it, the word summary. 350 pages is the summary. So the huge amount of study that you are into, just imagine. I think you have 23 students, isn't it? 21. So all are not present today. Okay. So, so huge amount of work you are into. To prepare yourself mentally, physically for it. And then we come to some important facts. You have to be very, very realistic. Emotionalism, not done. I like Vikram Seth, that's why I have done, I have told you. But that likeness should also go with the amount of work you should do. Like for example, this is my personal choice, Chetan Bhagat, I don't like him. But if suppose my student wants to work with Chetan Bhagat, I have to give him. If one of you tell me if you are willing to do research with me, and you are saying, no, I want to work on Chetan Bhagat. I have no choice because my child is working in it. So I have to do with it. So emotionalism, not allowed. Okay. Suppose you Chetan Bhagat's feminism also. That is very interesting. The way Chetan Bhagat has looked at his women characters, very interesting. Okay. Now, yes, again to supervisor. Something your supervisor also interested. That is also your part of the subject you will choose. And it should be very unique. The subject must be very, very unique. Unique means to a unique person. Everything is being taught. No, it is not like that. This I said, Chetan Bhagat's women characters, that unique, something unique that I think has not been dealt with yet. If it is dealt with, then it is not good. You have to think along with your supervisor. Stay, give time to your supervisor and to yourself before coming to any conclusion. Because this is a very, very important thing, what you are choosing for your research. And after making a huge study, then only you can come to the conclusion. Don't jump up to any conclusion. That is. And always consult your supervisor and also exploit the resources available in your city. The colleges may have good libraries. This college is a very old college in Kanpur and it must be having a very, very good library. Explore the library here. If you have time after the class, go to the library, consult the library. I am sure that you will get some good books here. So it is very, don't neglect your locality. No, it is not so. You can have good books. To find out the gem is your work. And you should explore your locality first, then go outside. That is very important. And I have some books, as I don't have the screen. These are must read for any English. I think some of them you have read. Oxford Companion to English Literature. Do you have this with you? The Oxford Companion to English Literature. This is an dictionary. This is a dictionary of English literature. Oxford Companion to English Literature. This is in this you have about a detailed summary of almost all the English writers. Oxford Companion to English Literature. Okay. Then you have a glossary of literary terms by M.H. Abrams. This you must have to know the theories. A glossary of literary terms. History of English Literature by David Dacius. The most easy one. History of English Literature by David Dacius. He's a very good person. And I love him. And then you have the Indian Literary Criticism by G.M. Davy. This is a very good book. Indian Literary Criticism by G.M. Davy. Indian Literary Criticism by G.M. Davy. Then you have History of Indian English Literature either by Iyengar or by M.K. Nayak. And we have A.K. Malhotra's book also of Indian English Literature. Some perspectives on Indian English Literature, something like that, by A.K. Malhotra. I think it's from DU, A.K. Malhotra. Okay. And New African Literature, a history of black writing. New African Literature. Sorry, I don't have, I just forgot to have any book on Australian literature. Sorry for that. I will tell you tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a because I have a book on Australian literature. I have written something on Australian literature also. New African Literature, a history of black writing by Janez Jand. Janhez Jand. Janez Jand. This is a very good book. And then of course an anthology, the American literature. An anthology is a 2-volume. An anthology, the American literature. Egbert Oliver. Egbert Oliver. These are some books which I think you must read to know what you want to study. Maybe by an anthology, American literature,
Yes.
by Edwards, Egberts, Edwards, Oliver, Oliver, Edwards, Oliver. These are preliminary primary books, these are, which are necessary to know English literature thoroughly. Because I know after MA, you don't study much. We have also been student of MA. I know what are. कुछ नहीं, हम लोग तो PhD में reading करते थे सब पूरे दिन. We used to have fun. MA is a time to have fun. Now after MPhil or after research, when the research progresses, then the student becomes serious. I am aware that I have been a student. So now it's time to gear up your gloves, your shoes, your everything, and go ready for study. And I think this much will be. I have some more other important things for you to be noted. I wanted to show it on the screen. There are. I have been going through a work of an author, of a writer, who was talking about the kind of research that we conduct in Indian universities. It is many a repetition of titles, repetition of subjects. So please don't do that. Do something new. Do take some new authors. Take some. This year you can take the Nobel. I just don't recall the name. It's an Afghani writer.
Yes.
It's an Afghani writer. You can work on him. Take some new author.
Some Rahman or something.
Yes. Take some new person, new poet, someone of a translation, regional poet, because regional literature of India is very, very good. You cannot neglect Tamil literature, you cannot neglect Bengali literature, you cannot neglect Hindi literature. They are very good. You can work on translation. Translation is an upcoming field. And doing work on translation will be very, very challenging. Challenging and easy too. Because the more the people have treated the part, the more thing is difficult. The less the people have treated the part, it is more easier. Your viewpoint will be understood by all. The coming generation will read you. If they will do work on the author, they will be consulting your thesis. Oh, certain ने लिखा है. Let me see. So it is better to read new areas, to do something unique, to do something which nobody has done. For that, you need learning. Because Shakespeare, Dickens, Hardy, so many great scholars have written about them, and you copy them, then you, in another word, you write their things in your own word, and a thesis is complete. But that is re-study, not researching. So this is the difference between re-study and researching. When you search, you dig out something. When you study, you only study and you understand. It is studying, understanding, then comprehending, and then writing. That is more important. That what you are writing, that is you. That will be something. Whether the word original is a very inverted comma within quotes, original, because with Rona Barth, the author is dead. An essay by Rona Barth says the author is dead. There is no author, there is no originality. So, have you heard about this essay?
Yes.
Very good. So, when you are doing something, it should smell it should have your own, smell like you. This is my work, like your own child. You will love it. I still keep my thesis work with you. This is mine, this is mine. This is what I have written. This is what my Guru has given me. It's like Guru's blessing. In BHU, we don't call our supervisor or sir. we call our guru. They are our guru. So my guru's blessing, my thesis is my guru's blessing. So that blessing should be pure, that blessing should be elegant, and that blessing should be something worth it. So your research work should be worth it. That is what research is. And so, I have identifying the area of research. This is the topic value. Identifying the area of research. Then I have told you how to say the genres. Age, period, and region under study, that you have to see what will be the age, which will be the period, what will be the region under study. And then authors and author under study. I have given you so many names and so many authors of the field. The text under analysis. See, whether it is critical text or whether it is a novel, a drama, a poem, that should be analyzed properly. I think you had practical criticism in your MA. You have
Yes, ma'am.
practical criticism. That is the starting of your research. Practical criticism.
Yes.
So that is what you will be doing in research also. You will practically criticize a piece of work. That is what expected from a researcher, to criticize something. But before criticizing, you have to also go through the literature, the critical writings based on that particular piece of work. And for that you have to give time. One thing that you must do is that make a bibliography of the work that you are reading. Otherwise, you have to make a bibliography at the end of your research. So if you don't remember the work that you have studied, that will be very confusing. So what I had done in way back in 2003, there are cards that is kept in libraries. So I have bought those library cards, and after buying those library cards, I have physically written all the names of the books in that card. That is, I still have that compilation card. All separate books. The name of the books, the name of the author, the year, everything. You can do it in time. You can keep that bibliography with you in time. Whatever book you come across, the first thing you should write, first thing you should do is prepare a bibliography of the book you are considering. That is very, very important for you. Always be very particular about documentation. That is called documentation. In your research work, documentation should be very proper and should be very up to date. And that will help you in the selection of topic also. Because then you will know that what are the books you have written. And when you open up those pages, you will find out, oh, these books I have read. And then you will recollect. And while reading the books, do make notes of your own. And if you can type your notes, that's okay. If you cannot type in your notes, you buy copies. Each one copy for one book. That's what we have done. It may be 12, 13, 14, or you can just make one big register for it and clip it. So that you don't get confused that from which book this note is. Write the name of the book and start noting down. Start noting down the important things of the book. That when you write something, that is always in your brain. That yes, I have written. That is the first primary thing. I asked my boy of class 9, my son, and my daughter also, she is doing a job in there, that always write. Writing is very, very necessary. We are forgetting to write, we are always writing. Even me too. I am also always writing. My writing has worsened a lot because of this. This way also you will improve your calligraphy skill. So go on writing, go on typing, whatever you do, but do make notes of whatever you read. Having that will not. The reading of research will be very systematic. It should be very, very systematic. Whenever you visit your supervisor, he will ask, what are the books you have read? It should be in your tips, on your tips. Yeah, sir, I have read this, or madam, I have read this. And what is the important thing about that book? She or he will ask. Then you can say, if you have written this, you will recall, oh, sir, in that book, this was the important thing that I have come across. In that book, this was the important thing that I have come across. So, right documentation of each and everything is very, and you have to be particular about it. You have to be very particular about it. And then background studies that I have already the literature, the knowledge available on a particular topic should be explored by you. And of course, study of contemporary literature. Suppose you are taking Shakespeare, you are taking Chaucer, you are taking anything. Suppose you are taking Chitra Kanti Devakarini. Okay? And you are working on the Sitana, that is Forest of Enchantment. You are supposed to study critical works on Ramayana also. What are the critical works other than Chitra Kanti Devakarini has been on Ramayana in the recent years, in the contemporary years? That will give you notions that will that you to be engaged in this type of thing will enhance your knowledge of the particular subject and will also let you write on your own. Don't mug up, but you have to be very conscious while reading things. And another thing, let me tell you, suppose you are selecting a novel. The first reading means you are just reading the story. Second reading means you are understanding the theme. Third reading means you are critically now understanding. So at least 3 readings of a particular novel you are doing. That is why I am saying that squeeze your topic. If you have decided that okay, I will be doing work on Nissim Ezekiel as a poet, read his poem once, twice, thrice, and make notes on it. And then also read the critical documents available on Nissim Ezekiel, written by various authors, written by various scholars, and then come to a conclusion. Okay, so these are the process that you must go through before drawing your own conclusion. And before selecting a topic. Selection of topic is so easy to say, but it is very difficult to come to conclusion that yeah, this is the topic I must go on with. Any questions you have? There are certain other books that I think you should read to know that what are the research work that is going on in India. This is Joseph A. Dorairaj. There is a scholar named Joseph A. Dorairaj. Joseph A. Dorairaj. D-O-R-A-I-R-A-J. Joseph A. Dorairaj. This book is written in a university news journal. Enhancing the quality of PhD thesis in English. This is available in net. Enhancing the quality of PhD thesis in English. Enhancing the quality of PhD thesis in English. This is University News 47, April 6 to 12 volume. Pages 16 to 17 pages now. Now we have S.R. Ganguly and L.S. Ramayya's book. Not book, I can write it. Book, it is a book, sorry. English language and literature teaching in India. English language and literature teaching in India, a bibliography. A bibliography. English language and literature teaching in India, a bibliography. Then we have M.S. Kushwaha, they are renowned scholars. M.S. Kushwaha. This is a collection of the abstract of dissertation. Kushwaha has published this, M.S. Kushwaha. Glimpses of Indian research and English literature. Glimpses of Indian. Now this will help you in selecting your subject. That these work has been done. Now what can I do? What I can do? Glimpses of Indian research in English literature. required that I have with me, that's why I have consulted this book. It's a national register. This type of book, if you find this type of book in net or this type of references in net, you go through this, because this is a register which will tell you that what are the works going on and what are the works already done many times. This can be very helpful for you to select your topic. This is a national register of doctoral dissertation accepted and in progress in Indian universities. You can find it in any university, in Flipnet also, I think you will find. There are certain guidelines, guiding books, research guiding books that will tell you the type of works being done, the type of works to be done, the topics also. In net, I was just searching for this lecture. I found that in net they also suggest that these are the topics that can be dealt with. And we have again Ms. Kushwaha's book, The Indian Doctoral Thesis in English Studies, the reference guide is a 2000, book of 2000. These type of guides on doctoral thesis in Indian universities, you will find in any university library. This will help you in guiding what type of thesis you will write, what is the research, what are the field of research that you can pursue, and that will help you in managing things well. Yeah, things I've already done, so I can pursue this path, I can do this thing. Any questions you have? Anything? Nothing? Either I am not understandable or I'm a very good teacher. अरे अपनी तारीफ अपने से करने से कोई बहुत बड़ा आदमी होता है, हम खुद ही करते हैं अपनी तारीफ. I don't know. So it has been nice meeting all of you here. Yes, Rita?
Can I ask one question?
Yes, of course.
For example, I will not, but if a person is researching on Shakespeare or Chaucer, so there are, I think, infinite readings on these writers. So if you are taking a writer of such kind, which has been researched a lot, what to do in that case? Means what will be the review of literature? Is there any limitation? How to limit
You
our
have to limit your. See, one thing you can do. Like suppose one of my students did her dissertation in Macbeth and Tula, comparative study. So on Shakespeare, you can do comparative study. Take a regional drama and take Shakespearean drama and make a comparison. Or film adaptation of Shakespeare. Bharadwaj ka na Vishal Bharadwaj, then commendable work on Shakespeare. You can compare original drama of Shakespeare and film adaptation like these type of works can be done. Because if you explore Shakespeare as a dramatist, it is useless.
Yes.
Everything has been done. So explore Shakespeare in a newer way, isn't it? I think solved problem solved to some extent. Not solved, just peeped into. Yes, any question? Nothing? I think we should stop the recording or should it go on?
We can stop it.
Stop it.
If the classes will
Stop
stop
it.
it.
How much time it takes?
215.
2:15.
That also.
So